From news and views, issues and opportunities, we'll have in-depth conversations with decision makers to find out what they know and what they think. I'm Rico Hizon, inviting you to join the exchange because your business is our business. This month, we honor all the women who always rise up to the challenge and showcase their strengths and abilities. From the home to the workplace, as they take charge here and around the world and help out other women as well. More ladies are at the helm of their careers and business empires, and certainly more will follow suit. The vision of women empowerment in our C-suite vision. The fight for gender equality is a bigger struggle for third world countries such as the Philippines, especially for the marginalized. Where is the country now in its efforts? Let's now have an exchange with Philippine Commission on Women, Deputy Executive Director for Operations, Kristine Balmes. Kristine, great to have you with us on the program. Tell us, what is the current status of Filipina women right now? Is there gender equality and gender equity?
Well, in terms of opportunity, we can say that compared to before, more women are entering fields that we deemed are only meant for men. And if we align it with our theme this Women's Month, which is We for Gender Equality and Inclusive Society, we still cannot deny that there is still a big gender gap on the ground, especially in professions related to innovation and ICT. When it comes to population, according to the 2023 population projection of the Philippine Statistics Authority, almost half of the population in the country are still women, with 55,922,510 compared to men, which are slightly higher at 56,970,271. In the aspect of education, if we look at the functional literacy rate, the females is slightly higher at 92.9 compared to males at 90.2. But even with this number, there are still issues in this sector that need to be addressed, including gender biases and stereotypes reflected in the curriculum, instructional materials, and school policies, as well as sexual harassment and gender-based violence.
You mentioned about innovation and technology. What must be done to promote this even further, that we have gender equality and gender equity in technology and innovation?
Well, there are a lot of things that needs to be done. First, we have to push for our women's priority legislative agenda to give emphasis on the needs of our Filipino women. Also, there are a lot of partnerships going on with the government, the NGOs, and civil society organizations and partners, which can come up with different programs, plans, and activities that shall address the need to address the gender gap in ICT and information technology.
But has the pandemic impacted efforts to improve gender equality in the country over the last 3 years? Did this set us back?
Well, the COVID-19 pandemic struck a double-edged sword for the work on gender equality and women's empowerment. On the other hand, the health crisis magnified the gender issues and increased burden on women. But on the other hand, it propelled actions and inspired more women to rise above. So the Global Gender Gap Report shows that the global gender gap has been closed by 68.1%. At the current rate of progress, it will take about 132 years to reach full parity. And while this is an improvement for the 2021's 136 years, it's still a stark difference from the 99.5 years in the 2020 report. So I don't think among our generation and the next generation will really witness gender parity.
What about our Filipino women who are part of the marginalized part of society? Are they being given enough opportunity?
There are certain programs and projects by the government that focuses on women micro-entrepreneurs, specifically those in the agri, fishery, and forestry sector.
Is there enough legislation though, or should legislation and our laws for women and for the welfare of women be strengthened even further? And is the political will there to implement them properly?
The PCW, as the primary policy-making body toward gender equality and women's empowerment, launched the Women's Priority Legislative Agenda in November. So this is a set of proposed legislative measures that seek to amend or repeal discriminatory provisions of our existing laws or push for new laws. The policy recommendations under WPLA resulted from consultations with representatives from NGOs and civil societies. Aside from this, during the 17th and 18th Congress, through the combined efforts and initiatives of concerned legislators and government agencies, we were able to enact laws.
Thank you so much for this Women Empowerment Exchange. Philippine Commission on Women Deputy Executive Director for Operations, Kristine Balmes, and happy Women's Month to you. And now here's a rundown of the week's top business stories. Around 2.37 million Filipinos were out of work in January, rising from 2.22 million in December 2022. This is equivalent to an unemployment rate of 4.8%, up from December's 4.3%. Prices of basic goods and services rose at a slower pace in February, the first time in 6 months, at 8.6%, down from 8.7% in January. And United Nations Chief Antonio Guterres warns gender equality will take 300 years, that's 3 centuries, to achieve amid threats to women's rights across the globe. And now we want to hear from all of you, our viewers of The Exchange. And here's our question for you. How can we better empower women? Send in your responses and I will read them later in the program. And straight ahead on The Exchange, where your business is our business. What does it mean for all women to be free? We have an exchange with Katie Ford from the Freedom for All Foundation. And more women are running the show. We speak to an executive of a major production company, Regal Entertainment. Keep it right here on CNN Philippines. News you can trust.